Hi Thumos and welcome back, guys. Hope you're having an amazing day. So I believe that a lot of men, they're not reading. We're not reading like we used to. And it's not that they're going to have to take away our books. It's that no one's going to read the books. No one's going to spend time reading the old dead tree and conjuring up images and learning from these men, these accomplished men and knowledgeable men of the past. And so I think this is a very powerful source. And I believe that reading should be a habit that you do every single day. I've heard that in a day you have 32 half-hour blocks. If you think about that, you're up for 16 hours, you have 32 of these half-hour blocks per day. If you were to spend one of those blocks, 30 minutes, reading something, you would read 1,000 books, roughly, by the time that you die, compared to the guy that reads one book a year. Say you live another 50 years, that's 50 books. If you spend one of those blocks, 30 minutes, you read 1,000 books. What kind of ideas, what kind of thoughts, what kind of creativity will that inspire inside of you to change your life? How much more interesting will you be? How much more well-spoken? Being able to articulate yourself and bring forth, this change to your world. So I think reading is super important. I'm going to try to start a little series here and there where I give you a 5-minute book synopsis. Okay, maybe some key points that I've taken away. So this is Managing Oneself by Peter Drucker. It's a very, very thin, easy read. I think it's super good. So I'm just going to read you a page. History's greatest achievers, Napoleon, Da Vinci, Mozart, have always managed themselves. That, in large measure, is what makes them great achievers. But they are rare exceptions, so unusual both in their talents and their accomplishments as to be considered outside the boundaries of ordinary human existence. Now, most of us, even those of us with modest endowments, will have to learn to manage ourselves. We will have to learn to develop ourselves. We will have to place ourselves where we can make the greatest contribution, and we will have to stay mentally alert and engaged during a 50-year working life, which means knowing how and when to change the work we do. The first thing that he says on managing yourself is that you need to ask yourself, what are my strengths? What am I strong at? What am I good at doing? Because most people, they know what they're not good at, and sometimes not even that. But a lot of people know what they're not good at, but they don't really understand what they're really good at. So he says a lot of people just go into a job, they pick a career, they do something that they're mediocre at because they never follow the strengths and the things that they are very competent at, and they never develop upon those skills into sort of a mastery. So it's worth mentioning, or it's worth taking a look at what is it that you are good at. And what he says is a way to do this is through feedback analysis. He says, whenever you're going to pick an action, maybe a new job, maybe a new career path, to try something new, give yourself 9 to 12 months. And before the 9 to 12 months, write out your expectations. See if in 9 to 12 months, are you progressing? Are you moving along as you thought you would? If so, you're strong in that area. If not, take a step back and realize, do I need to be doing this, or is it time to book it and get out? So to know your strengths. The next thing he says is you need to understand what you learn, how you learn best. Are you a listener, or are you a reader? Or perhaps maybe you learn best by speaking. Often when I make these videos and I go through things that I've learned, I'm trying to understand and remember. This helps me remember. It's like taking notes in a book. You can look back. The art of just writing that down helps it ingrain it in your mind. So are you a reader, or do you like listening to speeches? Do you get ideas better when someone's speaking at you? Do you understand that, or do you need to actually sit down with a book, go through it, think about it, and observe it? I think this is very crucial to understand, because you want to use your life in this time to be continually learning throughout your life. And the final thing he says is that you should try to have goals that are big, but not too big. And he says that you should give yourself a timeline of a plan. A plan should be no longer than 18 months, he says. It is rarely possible or even particularly fruitful to look too far ahead. A plan can usually cover no more than 18 months, and still be reasonably clear and specific. So the question in most cases should be, where and how can I achieve results that will make a difference within the next year and a half? And a lot of people, it's kind of contradicting a lot of people online that say, 5, 10 years down the road. But if you think about taking 18 months, a year and a half of your life, and giving yourself goals that stretch you and your mental capacities and your skills, 18 months is manageable. 18 months is something that you can get started on right away, and you can manage, you can track, and you can improve upon. But I don't think a lot of us do this. We don't give ourselves 18 months. A lot of us have these lofty goals, lazy goals. We say we want $1 million. Well, that's a lazy number. You didn't even think, why do you need $1 million? It's just lazy. So 18 months, a goal that stretches you, but not too much where that you're overwhelmed and it's so far out of sight. And once those 18 months passes, you see some success, you see progress, you see where you're at. You're going to get pretty far, even if you don't go all the way. And from there, you can do this again the next 18 months, the next year and a half. What is the plan? What's the goal I'm going for? So I think this is really important. Know your strengths, know how you learn, how do you perform best if you're in the knowledge work, how do you become more creative, how do you do your work efficiently, how do you block out distractions, when's the best time to work, what time do you need to get up in the morning. These are all crucial things we should be asking ourselves. And then to plan accordingly. 18 months, I'm looking 18 months ahead. Okay, I'm going to be this old. This is what I want to make happen. This is reasonable and attainable. I'm going to start going after that. So some good things to think about. Again, this is Managing Oneself by Peter Drucker. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know how you're doing, and I'll talk to you down below. Hi, Thumos. Peace.